What exactly are you offering them?
Right.
It's a service.
The service is to help scale their business.
Because now, once you understand that this has been going on for a period of time, you have leverage. Time is one of the biggest leverages you can have on a sales call. And more importantly, whose perspective matters on the call? Is it yours or theirs? Why? So humans have wants and needs. And if they feel like they don't have the need of being clear on something fulfilled, then I'm moving forward. What you can do now is...
Okay, Shayan bhai,
Yeah.
how are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. I'm doing amazing. So I wanted to have a chat because I've recently passed an interview for a social media marketing agency company that targets Muslim companies, and they've taken me on board to be a closer for the offer.
Nice.
I'm going to be starting first on a pro basis, and I wanted to know kind of how can I hit the ground running, and how can I kind of sell B2B prospects, because usually most of my experience has been direct to consumer and dealing with limited beliefs and trying to help them overcome that, and what's the difference is in dealing with a B2B customer and what are their limited beliefs and how to overcome their objections compared to a direct consumer. So
100%.
I'll leave it to you, inshallah.
First things first, yes, there are differences, but let's look at the similarities.
Okay.
You're speaking to a human being at the end of the day. Humans have wants and needs, right? That's another thing. When it comes to business owners and your particular ICP, what exactly are you offering them?
Right.
It's a service.
The service is to help scale their business through paid ads, any other marketing services such as SEO, and essentially you use that through Islamic ethos and to grow those Muslim businesses essentially.
And this is specifically working with Muslim businesses?
Correct, yeah.
And are these Muslim business owners running brick and mortar businesses? What's the industry or niche?
So from what I have spoken to the owner regarding is kind of anyone except they stay away from restaurants, but mostly like trade workers, maybe if they have a physical product, any of those kind of companies essentially.
Okay, and you're basically selling them on running paid ad service. That's amazing. Is there any other services that are being provided?
From what I've seen so far, not at the moment. So it's just paid ads, help them scale, organic marketing as well. I think he offers.
Okay, so there's organic as well.
Yeah, it offers him scripts and then they record the videos, and then using that he runs the paid ads and other things as well.
Okay, makes sense. What do they see before they jump on the sales call? Do you know that?
So at the moment, what I've seen is they go through the ad, and then through the once they see the ad, they do the form, and then from there they book a call, and it's a one call close from that point.
Okay. So they see the ad. What does the ad entail specifically?
So the ad, from what I've been told, the ad entails essentially like a video about the owner and the company and the ethos, and then it's like this is what they offer. If you want to know more, jump on a call.
Okay. So they're not necessarily like fully educated buyers.
No.
Right. So that means before you even jump on a sales call, there needs to be more education. Right. Because there's a difference. Who do you think is going to make a decision on a sales call? Somebody who's uneducated or more educated? Someone who's educated, right? So one thing that you can control as a closer is before the call, you can have a conversation with them. So you can triage your own calls.
Right.
Have you triaged before? Are you familiar with that?
So it's kind of qualifying them before.
Right.
Right.
So you're qualifying them, that's number one. And then the second thing is, before the sales call as well, you're giving them materials that's specific to them.
Right.
So for example, let's say they run a perfume business, which I know you're in that industry, right? Now, if you know they're in the perfume industry and they're trying to increase their revenue and they want to do cold ads, what you would want to understand about them is, okay, what is the next milestone for them? Like, do they have a number in mind? Is there a tangible outcome they're looking for? And when you have a tangible outcome, then you can be like, okay, cool. So there's actually some tailored assets that I can send over to you, so you can actually go for the resources that may help. Right. Do you feel like I can send that to you before the call and you feel like you can go for it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Amazing. What you can do now is you have tailored assets. You can go to the business owner and you can be like, create these assets, please. Or ask AI based on your current offer and ask it to create a PDF tailored to what they share with you about their business. So now you have something that is customized. It's not generic. And it's something that's going to help them be more educated before they jump on the sales call. Because now when you jump on the sales call, what do you think you can do to start the conversation effectively?
You can check how much they've gone through
data.
Straight
away you're temp checking. So now you're talking about commitment. And naturally, through the closing process, what are you doing?
You're gauging how much they've read and how much they know so far.
Exactly.
And then educate them more on the offer based on what they don't know.
Yeah, so you're taking micro commitments. So if you start the call taking a micro commitment, and then you continue building on commitment, naturally it helps them make the bigger commitment, which is then making financial investment, right? Which is where we want them to be. So very important. That is the starting point of the sales conversation. Now, when you're on the sales conversation and you ask them, okay, like I sent over the resources, did you make the time to go through it? And they say yeah, or they say no. You're like, okay, cool. Based on what you've seen, what do you feel was most helpful? Anything in particular that stood out for you?
Right.
So this is exactly what you mentioned. This is gauging their level of interest and also how committed they were.
Right.
Right. Now, if you see they were committed, then you're like, okay, cool. So I know we briefly had a conversation on the call, and you mentioned to me that essentially you want to get your business to XYZ. Let's say you want to scale to selling 10,000 bottles as opposed to like 1,000 bottles a month, right? Cool. So in order for you to get to that point, what do you feel is the missing bridge, in your opinion, in your business? Because you know your business better than I do.
Right. Okay.
So
you
see what you've done.
Speak about the
Exactly.
bottlenecks.
So now you're creating openness in the conversation, so now they can share more about their bottlenecks and also operationally what's going on in the business. Because remember, business owners, what do they want continually? What's the outcome they're after?
Yep. They're looking for to increase their essentially profits.
Cool. So what are we doing throughout the sales process? We're going to link it back to that hour, right? Very simple. So now we have a clear picture that, for example, this person wants to get to 10,000 bottles, but there are 1,000 bottles, and they feel like, in their opinion, they just don't have enough of an audience, enough of reach with their current content. You're like, okay, cool, that makes sense. So I see why you reached out. My next question is like, how long have you been kind of in this phase where you've only been selling 1,000 bottles a month?
Right.
Has that been going on for some time, or is this more of a recent thing that's happened?
So you're gauging how long they've had this problem, so to understand the urgency.
Exactly. Because now, once you understand that this has been going on for a period of time, you have leverage. Time is one of the biggest leverages you can have on a sales call, especially with business owners. It's the same with B2C, but the way you would use it with business owners is, remember, time is moving code. Is your revenue moving code with that time?
Right.
Because what happens if the revenue is not moving code with time? What are you leaving on the table?
Not much, essentially.
You're leaving a lot of money on the table, right? Your business could be where? If you really think about it. 10,000 bottles is doable.
Yep.
There's perfume brands that do it. What do you think is different compared to them versus you? So asking these kind of questions, ask them differentiating factors. Because you know how we use identity selling in B2C? So it's kind of like if we're speaking to somebody who's an employee who wants to become a business owner,
Right.
they have to make a transition. And it's sometimes scary, right? And I want to ask you, why do you think it's scary for somebody who's an employee to go from 9 to 5er to business owner?
Most of the reasons, or some of the main reasons, is that it's a different, complete like risk appetite that you need from being an employee to an entrepreneur, because everything is on you as an entrepreneur compared to as an employee, which not everything is on you. You just do the work and they pay you for what they knew, what you've done. They pay you before. Where every aspect of the business,
Yep.
if it doesn't work, it's because of you.
Exactly, responsibility. Because ultimately, in a 9 to 5, you're being paid a salary.
Yes.
By a manager, a boss, somebody you report to. As a business owner, who's paying that salary?
Myself.
It's you, right? So, coming back to this business in particular, the same concept. What do you think it takes to go from being a business owner who's selling $1,000 to now a business that is selling $10,000?
Okay.
What do you think you need to shift? Yeah.
Right.
So it's the same question.
You just take it from us, from their perspective right now as a smaller business owner, and then kind of shift them to getting them to understand where they could be.
Exactly. And more importantly, whose perspective matters on the call? Is it yours or theirs? Why?
Because essentially they're the ones that have the bottleneck, and they need to realize the problems that they're facing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And once you have their problems, what do you think you can do in your pitch, your presentation? How would
Once you know
you
their problems, then you can cater the solutions to deal with those problems they're facing.
100%. How would you do that practically?
So if I know, let's say that their bottleneck is that they don't have a good ads campaign manager, and their ROAS is not great, but I can create a plan showing them how using our service can get them to reach that goal, and then saying, look, you're selling 1,000 bottles at this XYZ ROAS. Well, we can do it for you. We can get you to 10,000 at this XY ROAS. So now you make an additional, 100,000 or whatever.
There we go.
However much it is.
And now you're speaking the language. Why? Because again, what was the outcome they want?
More money and more profit, essentially.
There you go. So there you go. That's how you exactly run them through the sales process. So as an overview, That is what you need to do on your sales call. Now, when it comes to closing, let's say you pitched, what do you do right after you've delivered the pitch and you've tailored it to them?
So once you've got them to realize the problem, you're giving them the solution. Now it's to see the level of commitment and to gauge, how fast, or how willing are they to proceed.
Give me an example of how you would do that.
So I would ask them, are you happy with everything that you've seen? Is there any is there anything that you would like more clarification on, just to see if they have any more questions? And usually they will say, oh no, I'm good. Or they might ask an actual question. And if they go for the actual question, you answer it, and then you ask them again.
Okay, interesting.
And then I would say, and then I ask the question. Once they've said they don't have any more questions, then I'll say, okay, so how would you kind of like to proceed? With whatever payment models that we have, and then kind of putting it on them. I don't know if that's the best method.
So you're essentially leaving it in their hands, right?
Exactly.
No, that's not bad at all. Obviously, it depends case to case, but conceptually, you're right. You want to do a temp check right after you finish pitching. You want to see how hot, how cold are they, right? Now, the way you asked it isn't bad, but there are slightly more effective ways to do it.
Right.
Okay, so for example, what you would do is you would say, does that kind of all make sense? It should be pretty straightforward. The reason why you would do that right after pitching is because it's assumptive. And naturally, when you take assumptive control after the pitch, it becomes easier to do an assumptive close.
So you ask, does that all make sense? That should be pretty straightforward. Yeah. So you already you put in their mind that, this is
clear,
not normal.
Yeah, because like who buys? Somebody who is unclear or clear?
Of course, someone who's more clear.
Yeah, it's an obvious thing, but despite that, salespeople often get this wrong. They kind of say like, oh, do you have any questions?
Right, you put them back into the state of confusion. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
because again, you're not speaking to just a business owner, you're speaking to a human being.
Right.
So humans have wants and needs. And if they feel like they don't have the need of being clear on something fulfilled, then I'm moving forward. Doesn't matter how brave of a mouth we get. So that's going to be very important, right? So when you temp check, make sure you assume positive.
Okay.
Just assume positive.
Automatically. Unless if they say something against it, then you deal with that objection there.
Okay, so let's say they say something and they ask you a question like, okay, cool. Like, how long are you going to be working with me again?
Right.
How are you handling that question?
If I know that, based on everything so I say, okay, let's say 3 months, and we'd help you get to. I'd repeat the results of that, and then I just leave it back in their heads essentially.
Yeah, so that's a good way of doing it. I can show you a different perspective, right? The different perspective would be putting it back in their goal. Like, that's a really good question. And I'm happy to walk you through how long it's going to take, but I want to ask you, based on everything we've shared, how long do you think it's going to take, realistically, for you to scale from 1,000 bottles being sold to 10,000 bottles being sold every single month?
Right. And also, so that you put it back on them, but then do you mention, do you say, okay, how long do you think it's going to take you by yourself? Or do you say, how long do you think it's going to take us with us? Why are you clarifying?
Okay, very good. So you would ask this question first, open. You wouldn't ask like, how long is it going to take if you do it by yourself straight away? Because now you're assuming that they're already ready to buy. You don't want to do that. That is a little too far now.
Right, okay, you jumped the gun.
Yeah, you've jumped the gun too far. Okay. So you want to ask this question because it's an opening question. And naturally, it creates openness for them to answer you.
Okay.
Now, the moment they answer you and get back to you, and they say, it's going to take me maybe 6 months, maybe a few months, I want to do it in the next 2 months. So like, okay, yeah, that's a reasonable time frame. Whatever they say is reasonable to them now, right? So you have to.
Do you agree with what they say?
Yeah, you can do.
Okay.
You absolutely can do. You're like, yeah, it's reasonable, 100% in your mind. However, can I share a different perspective?
Right.
If you were to do this completely by yourself, if you're really deep and you thought about it, how long would it take you as a one-man army to go and do this?
Okay.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
You're building on the answer they already gave you.
So you let them answer first, and then based on that, because now they can't double back on what you say, because they've already agreed with you.
Exactly. Okay. And then the next question could be, okay, so obviously as the experts, do you truly believe that everything we've gone through is exactly what you live for? Like, do you have faith in us? Yeah? You have faith in your business and yourself and your future? Of course you do. You're an entrepreneur. That's it. Yeah? Alright, look, I was a little bit assumptive there because I'm playing into the ego. Business owners have an ego.
He's not gonna say, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not, I don't believe in my business.
Exactly. They believe in it. That's why they want to scale it.
Yeah.
Like, amazing, cool. Let's make it happen now. Next steps from here. Investment. Exactly what you need to do to 4x your business, 5x your business. and from there we're gonna get you onboarded.
Okay.
Assume the close, move forward.
So now you've done all of that. Now naturally, as you know, the objections.
Yeah.
This is when the key objections take place. It's like, let me have a think about it, or could I have some more time? Could I, if they have a business partner, could I have a talk with my business partner? How do you deal with certain objections with the business owner? Essentially?
Yeah. The same way you would handle it on B2C. It's not that much more different. And it's actually easier because there's an element of congruency. Because as a business owner, in order for you to get to the next level and scale, what do you feel you need to be doing within your business? Do you feel like it's just taking more time, or is it making moves?
Right.
Who moves fast in the market?
Right.
Only one person does.
Yes.
That makes more sense. And everybody says that, which is great, but how many people actually go and make it? Why are we doing this? Because now we're saying and doing are two different things.
Right.
And what we're doing is we're flicking their state from just saying and thinking to now doing. So now we're going to implant that into their mind.
Yeah.
That is what we're going to do.
So you make them realize that they're doing the thing that is their bottleneck, so to speak. And you're making them realize that, and then saying, look, you said you're not going to do, you said you don't want to be like this, but now you're actually doing that. So you still want to remain in that phrase. Actually, yes, watch.
Because whose choices are.
Because the end of it is his choice.
Yeah. And brother, I'm here to help because you applied to get out, right?
Yeah.
So we're here to help. We're here to make things better. But ultimately, are you willing to help yourself make a better decision?
Right.
Because this is what it's going to take. Because we work with people like yourself all the time. That's why you're here, right? And we see the difference between those who actually make it happen versus who don't. Ultimately, who do you want to be?
Right.
What decision do you want to make? Because that's in your hands. Now, if they give you a think about it again, you can be more direct.
Okay.
That makes sense. Because now you have leverage that everything that you do is confirmed. It does work for you.
Right.
Right?
So when you're being more direct, how do you gauge? Because you could be like,
If you cross the line, it's okay. That's not a bad thing. And I'll tell you why. Because the way you could do it is essentially you could say to them, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about this. Because I have these conversations all the time, right? Which is why I'm talking to you in the beginning. And I can see you're passionate about your business, aren't you? Right? So my question to you is, are you willing to use that passion now to make a different decision? Because in order for you to make a different outcome, what do you feel you need to do right here, right now? It's probably not go away, think about it. Let's be real, yeah? You're a smart guy. You know better. And like I'm thinking to you.
ego again. Yeah.
That's what you did.